Everyone wake up, the Senate did a thing. Kind of. It involves a lot of money, $95 billion, million. That's not gonna get you through a day of these conflicts. $95 billion in aid being provided to those either suffering from or waging a number of military campaigns. So we've got $60 billion to Ukraine, obviously still being invaded by Russia. $14 billion in security assistance to Israel, as well as $9 billion to the civilians suffering in Gaza, and nearly $5 billion to Taiwan. And the fascinating thing about this is that it passed the Senate. It was a 70-29 vote. Now, 22 Republicans joined with virtually all of the Democrats to pass this thing. And based on what Republicans have been saying about all of these issues over the past few months, that means that dozens of Republicans have decided to doom Israel in their conflict against Hamas. Billions of dollars in necessary aid to the IDF that those Republicans just don't want to give them, or at the very least, they don't want to give them that aid if it also means that Ukraine might have a chance of weathering this invasion for another year. They're willing to sacrifice Israeli security interests if that's what it takes to get what they apparently want in Ukraine, which is their utter annihilation, or at the very least surrender. So that's all fun. But the thing is, while it has passed in the Senate, that does not mean that it's gonna become law. This, like the border deal, could end up just being, I don't know, a fun policy thing that we talk about for a few days, but let's all bear in mind, it is an election, so let's not pass anything. And the reason for that is the politics all going on, some of it explicit, and we'll get to those videos, stay tuned for that, but some of it more behind the scenes. So let me try to catch you up. The vote on this foreign aid Senate bill comes months after the White House requested the supplemental funding package, when Republicans demanded that the foreign aid be tied to enhanced border security measures. But when a long-sought bipartisan border security agreement was released last week and then quickly rejected after former President Donald Trump weighed in, the deal's prospects in Congress disappeared. That's sort of the history. It now seems like ancient history, but at one point, Republicans were saying, oh, I guess you can get that foreign aid money, but only if we get the security at the border that we demand. Sorry, did we say demand? We mean oppose. We oppose it, we don't want it anymore. And so, okay, you don't want the border deal, so I guess we just do the aid. I mean, I know you guys don't really care about Ukraine or whatever, but you seem to be really jazzed up about Israel. So Chuck Schumer decided, okay, we'll do the aid package. We'll take away the border stuff that you guys say we don't need to pass anyway, and we could just focus on the foreign aid. And it did win over a few Republicans. I believe 5 Republican senators that did not support the border bill did support this bill. And so now it's on to the House, where it will be killed like the border deal was. We kind of expect that. But what they are saying, the way they're communicating in advance of killing it, that's what's truly fascinating. So Speaker Mike Johnson says the mandate of national security supplemental legislation was to secure America's own border before sending additional foreign aid around the world. Now, in the absence of having received any single border policy change from the Senate, the House will have to continue its own work on these important matters. So you see what he's doing there? We said, and I think we were clear, that we're not doing this without border security. This doesn't have it, so I guess we're not gonna do it. But wait, they sent you the bill with the border security. It was just like last week, wasn't it? Like that was not a long time ago. I know we all had like Super Bowl fever over the weekend or something, but I don't, the fever should have gone away by now. How do you not remember that? Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.